I'm going to do a quick review of the Panasonic Lumix. I always have to DC-ZS70. DC-ZS70. Lumix. Leica lens. There's Alicia. Leica. I don't know. This is what you would call a super zoom camera. It says on the back here it's got a 35mm equivalent to 700mm. I'm not sure if I believe that because I've compared it to my 300mm lens on my APS-C camera, which would be more like what, 500? And they're about the same. I don't know. It might reach a little further. For a little camera, it's got really good reach. Right. This is really handy to take to the ball game to record the grandkids. Right, because you can set up in the stands with this thing. But when it's got in-body image stabilization and plenty of it. Right, you get up in there, you can zoom it all the way out, and video. It's got 4K. You can then strip stills out of the 4K. You can set it up to pre-film. So that, and then when the action happens and you want to catch that still shot of the ball leaving the quarterback's hand, when it leaves you can click and you're always late, right? That's the nature of photography. When you see the action happen and when you click the button, you're always, 300 milliseconds late, right? But with this thing, you can scan back and find that perfect point and pull it out and save it off as a JPEG. It's got a lot of neat features like that, right? It's got slow motion. I think it'll do like 4 times slow motion in high def, and in 4K I'm not sure. I think it might be able to do double speed in 4K. I'm not sure, but as a stills camera, it's okay in good light. As a video camera, it's really good, and especially as a selfie camera, because this flippy-uppy thing here, people love it. And the reason I look so weird right now probably is because I would normally use this as my mains camera that I have on myself when I'm doing one of these reviews or a tech talk or whatever, and that way, I can, because right now I can't tell if I'm in frame. I'm using my Pentax camera. I can't tell if I'm in the frame, so I hope I am. With this, you can look over and make sure you're in the frame. Downsides, right? It's not good in low light. Doesn't focus well in low light. The ISO range runs from like 80 up to only about 1600. There's not a lot of range in the ISO. There's not a lot of range in the aperture. So you're not really going to be able to blur out the background by opening up the aperture with this camera. But that said, you can get the background blurred out because you've got a super zoom, right? You can take a picture of something that's pretty far away, as long as you like the aspect ratio of it. It's probably not going to be that great for a portrait with the blurred out background. It'll be okay probably, but you do have to get your subject kind of away from you and then maybe zoom in on them a little bit, right? And if you do that, the depth of field, when you zoom out, becomes more narrow. It'll blur out the background when you do that. So, but you're not going to be able to, do it. It's not going to go down to f2 or f2.8. So it's got a lot of good things about it. The image stabilization in it is crazy good, and it's got a big range. And I guess maybe it's because the sensor inside this thing is really tiny, the size wise, right? So it's small, it's light, it's not very, it's not, you can move it around a lot, right? And you can move it quick. So that's why the image stabilization, I'm guessing that's probably why the image stabilization is so good. Some people say it's like it's like a stabilized camera phone image sensor with a zoom lens in front of it, and I guess that's okay, accurate. People don't care much for this viewfinder. I think it's awesome when it's a bright day out and you're trying to track action and the sun's in your eyes and you can't really see on this screen. I like that a lot. I think this wheel right here is a little too small. They could have made it a little bigger for bigger hands. The touch screen features are pretty good. Can't complain. I always find myself remembering how to do one thing on the touch screen and remembering how to do another thing with the buttons. The menu system is a little overly complicated, I think, but maybe it's just because it's got that much stuff. I find myself struggling to understand how I got it set up this way. How did I get it set up this way? It's like I changed something in the menuing system, and then maybe I changed the mode up here, and I guess maybe the setting didn't come with the mode. I don't know. I'm not going to complain about it because it could just be me, right? So it's got a lot of functionality. It will eat up a battery, especially if you're videoing. I got mine as a bundle on Amazon, and it came with 2 extra batteries. So, and I'm glad it did, because you can't get through a whole football game videoing on 1 battery. They're pretty cheap on Amazon right now, and we're talking new units, not used, and this thing's been out for a while. So maybe that's a testament to just how good of a camera it is. It's been around for a while and people are still buying it. So that might tell you something too. So there it is. Panasonic model number. No, that's model number. DC-Z. Is that an S or a 5? DC-ZS70. It's a pretty good buy.